Hi there, this is David and welcome to my impressions of Ni no Kuni CrossWorlds, a free-to-play mobile game recently released. I played it for about an hour to see what it's all about, so you don't have to. As far as I'm concerned, the original Ni no Kuni on the PlayStation 3 was the savior of the HD console generation. Most of the games in that dark time period just weren't all that great, but Ni no Kuni came out and really revitalized the genre, and I've loved it ever since. There are only 2 games in the mainline series, but both of them are pretty fantastic. And I do steer clear from mobile games for the most part, but because this is from a legacy franchise that I know and love, I did think that I would give it a shot. Or at least give it a chance to see what all the fuss is about. When you first start up the game, you have an option of 5 different job classes to choose from. An engineer, a destroyer, swordsman, witch, or rogue. And if you would like, you could create all sorts of different characters and try them all out. I didn't though. I just went straight to the hot swordsman and then played some dress up to get them all ready for the adventure. The world of Ni no Kuni is just as beautiful and charming as it ever was. It's extremely reminiscent of the prior games in the series, and you're going to feel right at home with the graphics as well as the sound. After the opening cutscene, you're thrust into a battle where I was really surprised to learn that this is actually an action RPG, complete with skills that cool down on a timer, movement, and button mashing. I guess I just kind of figured that it would be a turn-based game since it is mobile, but hey, if it works, it works. Except, in this case, it kinda doesn't work. Let me explain. A lot of times the mechanics for mobile games just kind of go over my head. There are so many menus and all sorts of junk crowding up the screen, it's a bit overwhelming. And since I also kind of feel like they're throwaway entertainment, I'm really not too invested in kind of learning the ins and outs of all the mechanics either. So it was nice that it is a simple hack and slash. But it was also really kind of unnecessary because the game just plays itself. You'll be constantly assigned quests, main quests and side quests. And if you want to finish a quest, you literally just click on the quest icon and then the game does everything for you. You don't have to press anything else. You're going to move automatically to the next person. You're going to talk to them automatically and then even fight all the mandatory battles automatically. I don't understand the concept of somebody wanting to play a game but then not actually play it. I mean, there was Final Fantasy XII's Gambit system, but at least there you could still choose actions and set the gambits and like move around, but here it's 100% automated. And I do kind of understand why they did that. Because if you unclick the quest icon and actually try to explore on your own, you get ready to fight with the super boss of the game, which is the controls. To say that they're janky is an understatement. You're supposed to move around with the little pad and then change the camera angle around with another finger to like look around and stuff. But whenever you do that, the pad also kind of moves and it's just so frustrating. You're kind of barely bumbling around, moving at a snail's pace to really just try and explore, but it's just not worth it. After a couple of minutes, you're going to turn off the manual controls, hit the quest icon again, and then just let the game play itself. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys out there are saying, hey David, a lot of mobile games kind of have this play themselves thing. But I say, not to this extent, and also not to the detriment of their own controls. Many games do have the option of an auto feature, but you can still control your guys competently if you want to, and that's the key word, competently. But here, the controls just aren't good. And this is really where I'm torn. Because while the world looks to be warm and inviting, ripe for exploration, you're going to find yourself not wanting to actually explore, not wanting to get off the beaten path, because, number 1, the janky controls, and number 2, not really being able to find much of anything. And while I did look around the town a bit, I didn't discover anything at all, no hidden items or NPCs that had secret dialogue, nothing like that. It was all just very generic. The only thing worthwhile to do was the instance quests, so the game quickly became less of a game and more of a chore. It just kind of feels like busy work, as you're going from random NPC to random NPC delivering your various items to raise your reputation so you can eventually meet with the king. And at first, I thought that this would eventually subside, but no. After 45 minutes of doing the exact same thing, it didn't subside at all. It just kept on going. After I did all the quests in town, or at least had the game play all the quests in town, I was then sent off to the forest, where the process began to repeat itself. Hey, click this quest, go kill these monsters. Click this quest, go help this old woman. Click this quest, go deliver this egg. Just click the quest icon, watch the gameplay itself, rinse and repeat. For those curious, I didn't reach any sort of paywall within the first hour of the game. However, I did see a shop where you could purchase various things, and like all free-to-play games, I'm sure that there's some way out there to milk the cash out of you. I just didn't encounter it, and I'm sure that I won't ever in the future, because 1 hour was quite enough for me. Now, I don't seem to sound like a Debbie Downer or anything, and while I'm sure that there is a market for a game like this, I don't think that that market is me. I mean, it is free to play, so there's no harm, no foul in trying it out for yourself, but would I go back to it? No. Would I spend a dime on it? Also, no. So, that's it for my quick impression of Ni no Kuni CrossWorlds for the mobile platforms. If you like this video and wanted to hear on the channel, please consider supporting me on Patreon, heading on over to Twitch for some streaming fun, or joining the Discord to chat and hang out. The links to them all can be found in the video description. This has been David. If you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.